conversation goes something like this. Why didn't you get the PMs done? Well, because I kept getting called off on breakdowns all day. Same story the next day. In fact, every time you go to work, there's always repeat failures. The maintenance techs are getting the same calls and work orders frequently. They don't get time to do the PMs to prevent and detect failure or fix anything proactively because the equipment keeps breaking down. By the end of this video, I want everyone to know there is a process that makes it possible to stop these chronic failures at the source, and then you and your team can focus on doing the right things and become less reactive as an organization instead of rushing around clamoring to find a part that may or may not be in stock. One thing many maintenance techs pride themselves on is being a troubleshooter instead of a parts changer. And while troubleshooting is immensely better than parts changing, it may be the wrong tactic in some instances. For the sake of accuracy, let's define troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is the process of detecting a problem, determining its cause, and taking corrective action to resolve the problem. Here's an example. A full pallet has unexpectedly stopped at this particular section of a roller conveyor network. Upon further investigation, the tech finds that no overloads are tripped in the motor control circuit. The drive chain is intact, but a photoelectric sensor in the next conveyor section downstream is greatly misaligned, which results in the control system getting a false part present signal. The sensor is adjusted, and the pallets start moving again. This issue occurred 8 more times on the shift. Unfortunately, troubleshooting will not fix all problems. In some cases, it's only a temporary solution that will last just long enough for you to start working on something else or for the last shift to leave without saying anything about it. Not only that, but the problem will continue occurring enough times that the plant manager is now staying over your shoulder, asking questions, and giving advice while you try to get the problem to stop. This is where root cause focus comes in, specifically root cause analysis or root cause problem elimination, also known as RCPE. So what is RCPE and how is it different from troubleshooting? RCPE is a proven and systematic method of resolving large and chronic issues instead of the day-to-day problems that pop up and go away. It is performed by multifunctional teams instead of just maintenance or engineering. It is an in-depth investigation into the issue during which evidence is documented as opposed to looking at the symptoms and using logic to identify the cause of the symptoms. And it is monitored for long-term effectiveness instead of just a few cycles. In the previous simple example, I talked about a pallet that hit a sensor. The most recent pallet to pass through that section was located and found to have items extending past the dimensions of the pallet. It was reasonably assumed that the bag extending from the pallet hit and misaligned the sensor as it passed. No other pallets were misstacked. The hypothesis is that a bag was damaged prior to being filled and stacked, which allowed the contents to leak and caused the stack to shift. How and where was the bag damaged? This is one of the questions that RCPE will help answer, and the answer can be targeted to prevent the issue from occurring again. Is your organization so reactive that it is just focusing on resolving the symptoms? You can transform your organization and even your life. RCPE is a key element to getting out of that reactive cycle that so many of us find ourselves in. Your world could be one with less interruptions, more uptime, and lower costs. To learn more about troubleshooting tactics and methods, consider attending my workshop at SMRP 2023, or to learn more about the RCPE process, check out IDCON's YouTube playlist, Common Mistakes and Root Cause Failure Analysis, or visit idcon.com to check out the training options.